But
And I'll just hop in there.
you and welcome to day 2 of the Standard Bank Kersney Easter Rugby Festival. A little bit wet and misty up Bothers Hill for the second day of this competition. First up, we've got Hoerskool Framesby versus Pretoria Boys High School. Both those teams winning their matches on day 1, so we're in for a cracker of a match. I'm joined here by Jono Dayton. How you doing, Jono?
Yeah, a little bit chilly up here in the commentary box, or lack thereof. But yeah, obviously in for cracking games today. Hopefully the buggers can get their hands working with a little bit of the dampness here. Bit of rain, light rainfall, and a bit of mist.
Yeah, and we're in for an interesting clash, especially Hoerskool Framesby have gone and beaten Dale on day 1. Dale were definitely a little bit out of sorts. Didn't quite get the chance to run the ball as much as they'd like to, as much as we know they like to. But Framesby, these conditions might suit them, seeing how they played with their forwards in that first game. Perfect. And here we have Hoerskool Framesby on your screens. Jandre Liebenberg at 10 was pretty impressive for Framesby in their first day, as well as Andre Gerber, his scrum half teammate. Peter Schultz at 15, also very impressive, joined the line well, got a great boot on him as well. And a couple of other names to look out for there. Big number 8, De Wet, Erasmus, and of course a big front row. Jono, you'll know a lot about that.
Against Queen's College, and they managed to come away with a 14-10 victory. Well, Hoerskool Framesby took on Dale College, and they too were victors. They won 15 points to 5. So we've got.
And then having a look at Pretoria Boys High, Rhys Becker, then big number 8, skipper of the side. He'll be looking for his number 9 and number 10, Ruan van Rooyen and Dylan Thompson, to be giving the team some direction this morning. The wet conditions might be looking to kick the ball a little bit more this morning. Be looking out for Justin Cross at 15 as well. But some pretty exciting names there for the visitors from Pretoria.
Definitely, Gareth. Just looking there as well, there's Reynard Null, the big tight head prop. He's weighing in at 129 kg, so just shy of the big 130. And I'm sure they'll be looking to utilize that big front row and get them stuck in.
John, I'm sure you haven't seen too many schoolboys weighing in at 130. Reynard Null was pretty good in the loose as well. We saw him carrying the ball quite a bit in their first match on Thursday, so I'm sure they'll be looking to him to carry the ball up strongly today.
Definitely, it's nice to have someone that way who is still mobile, and he definitely showed that he's not a lumbering person on that field. He has the ability to get around and get that big ball of mass moving.
We should be getting underway shortly here at Stotfield in Kersney. First match of the day, some prep school rugby. We had Hillcrest Senior Primary versus the KZN Invitational. Hillcrest running out comfortable winners. Didn't quite catch the score. We'll have to go back and take a look and give you an update on that one. And then just taking a quick look at the fixtures today. Obviously, first up at 9:30, we've got Hoerskool Framesby versus Pretoria Boys High School. 10:45, DHS take on Queen's College. At midday, Kersney College take on Hoerskool Nurkap. At 1:15, Glenwood meet Dale College. That should be an exciting clash. 2:30, HTS Droste meet Welkom Gymnasium. And then the last match of the day, Selborne College will meet HTS Middelburg. Jono, looking back to Thursday, day one, any teams in particular that stood out for you?
I think definitely DHS. They showed that they are definitely not to be taken lightly. New team to the festival, and they really didn't stand down for anyone. Coming away victors there, and they are the following match. So I'm very interested to see how they perform as we see both teams taking to the field.
Pretoria Boys High School. Led out by their captain and hooker Richard DaCosta.
There you have the teams taking a knee for a quick prayer, something you often see in schoolboy rugby. I remember when I was at school we certainly did that, and obviously emotions running high this morning. It's day two. The players have shaken off the rust on day one, and they'll just be looking to get out there and play some rugby. We see there Pretoria Boys captain Richard DaCosta getting his boys fired up. Wet conditions. Going to be interesting to see how these two teams go. Big forward packs. Sure, there's going to be some big encounters.
Definitely, both teams looking very pumped up. Watch them during the warm-up, and they're very vocal, a lot to say. Heads up, smiles on the faces, and great hands, actually. So I'm sure we're in for quite a cracker of a match to kick off day two of the Standard Bank Kersney Easter Rugby Festival.
Framesby fullback Peter Schultz to get us underway here. Puts it up in the air. Pretoria Boys have let that one go straight over their heads. Ball's into touch. Not quite the start they'll be looking for. Perhaps a little bit nervous. Not the best kick from Schultz. His players couldn't quite get to the ball. But Pretoria Boys will be a little bit disappointed they didn't take that ball cleanly. DaCosta to throw in. Line out just outside Pretoria Boys high 22. Taken down. Shifts out into the midfield. Strong carry. Setting up for an exit play. Dylan Thompson clears for Pretoria Boys high. He's found some space, but Schultz has cleaned up well. Takes it back at the Pretoria Boys defenders. They look to recycle. It looks like Pretoria Boys have pinched that one at the ruck. And there you have it. Referee says holding on. Pretoria Boys get an early penalty. Settle things down a little bit. What do you think they're going to do here, Jono?
Depends on their kicker whether or not he has the range. He seems to be looking for the corner. Very interesting thing we've seen actually over this weekend so far is the decision that teams make whether they choose to go for ball or whether they choose to take up the space come ruck time. Especially with the new ruck laws, it doesn't necessarily leave a lot of room for a stealer to get his hands on that ball. He has to enter through the gate, and so a lot of teams have adopted a new method of taking up space, but they're Pretoria Boys going for the ball and coming away victors.
DaCosta to throw in. Justin Cross got lucky with his slightly skew kick foot touch. Framesby have come away with it. They've pinched it at the maul there. Excellent defense. Shifted out wide. Strong carry by Christo Grobler. Pretoria Boys have been pinged for a high tackle there. Referee making a mark early on in the game here. And Framesby will look to kick for touch. Liebenberg gets good purchase, sets up a line out just inside the Pretoria Boys high. It's half. Nice platform for attack here, Jono.
Definitely their first platform for attack as well, so it'll be interesting to see what they do here.
They've taken it down into a maul. We did see them practicing that maul, and they got good purchase in their first game as well. Shifts it out. Big number 12, Monray Potgieter, crashes it up. It's met well by the Pretoria boys' defence. Gerber finds his forwards in the midfield. Another strong carry there from De Wet Erasmus. Gerber out to his forwards. Just looking to set up the phases here. Olivier finds a big runner in William Moffat. Gerber, Olivier steps, takes on the defenders. It's brought down just short of the 22. Olivier finds De Wet Erasmus again. Strong carry from the number 7. Great hands there from the Framesby forwards. Just looking to set up those phases. Olivier changes direction. Gerber, beg your pardon. Gerber, Olivier. Just a little bit too hard there for Christo Grobler. Promising signs from Framesby early on there, Jono.
Definitely, lovely ball retention and great face play. But I think also need to commend the Pretoria boys there, just impeccable defensive lines. Framesby finding it very hard to get over that advantage line. However, the Pretoria boys just a little bit overzealous and giving away that offsides penalty.
It's quite encouraging to see the boys keeping ball in hand even in these wet conditions.
Definitely. Especially in these wet conditions up here at Kersney, it can pose a bit of a challenge, you know, wet hands, wet ball, and the odd knock on, and no one really wants to see a scrum to scrum to scrum play. So nice to see a bit of continuity, and Framesby opting to take the 3.
Schultz lining this one up. Splits the uprights. Great penalty taken there by Peter Schultz, number 15 for Hoerskool Framesby, and that puts the visitors up 3-0 over Pretoria Boys High. Justin Cross to get us underway again here. Puts it deep. Grobler, Gerber, beg your pardon. Great touch finder, good exit play from the boys from Framesby, getting straight out of their half as soon as they've got that ball back. Setting up a line out here, Pretoria boys to feed. Captain Da Costa finds his jumper and shifted out wide. It's a good take by the big number 8 there, Reese Becker. Olivier looking for a runner, slightly overrun it. Da Costa carries. He's knocked that ball on in the tackle. Framesby turn it over. They're looking to shift it out wide quickly. Skip pass out. He's found Gerber on the wing. Scrum offs at the bottom of that rack now. Someone's going to have to play that ball. Framesby forwards take it upon themselves. Rumble it up down the trams. Gerber's up. Framesby keeping it tight here down that left-hand side touch. And another penalty goes the way of the PE boys. Not quite sure if they'll look at going for post here, Jono.
Again, depends on the kicker, depends whether he has the angle. He's giving it an eye out, scoping it out. And he's opting for posts.
Schultz backing that left, or right boot of his rather. Struck that first penalty quite cleanly. I'm sure he's feeling quite confident that he might be able to get this one over. As we speak, mist starting to roll in here over Stotfield up in Bertha's Hill. Not quite the good weather we had on day 1, but a little bit cooler than it was. Maybe a little bit of respite for some of the boys, especially those that were playing in the midday matches. It looked hot and humid out there.
Yeah, it definitely was quite a warm day on day 1 of the Standard Bank Kersney Easter Rugby Festival. So I'm sure those midday games will be looking forward to having a little bit less heat.
Another successful penalty for fullback Peter Schultz. He's looking good. That right boot is warmed up, and that puts his side 6-0 up over Pretoria Boys High.
definitely a little bit of a warning to the PBHS boys, just letting them know that they can make them pay with the boot.
Peter Schultz gets us underway again. Nice high kickoff for his forwards to chase. That's a great take there from De Wet. Erasmus brings it down. Gerber shifts it out. Strong carry by Rohan Duprier. Gerber. Oh, we've had a little break here. Looking for support. He's found it. The little Sonny Bill Williams doesn't go their way. The referee says it's a knock on. That's an unfortunate little break in play there, but what a break by number 6, Christo Grobler. He caught them napping, just shot through the rack there.
100%. I think it's also an area of the rack where...
And here you go. Yeah. He's just picked it up off the base. He's run away from his support. Just that needed a little bit of communication there. He had all the players around him. Maybe shouldn't have forced that pass there, Jono.
Yeah, simple hands will do it. A lot of this chicken wing stuff does tend to work, but often simple hands, just keeping the ball in those two hands and just popping it off to your player tends to be a little bit more effective.
Becker picks up off the base for Pretoria boys. Framesby are working hard on defence here, shooting up in the line. Ball's kicked through. Schultz is there to cover. The referee's called them back for a penalty for offside. Little bit of respite there for Pretoria boys high.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure they'll look to just slow this game down a bit, take it back to their pace, their structure, put the ball out and get a good set piece coming.
Justin Cross looks for the right-hand touchline. He's put his team midway into Framesby's half. Nice platform for a line-out here. Da Costa's up there quickly, waiting for his forwards mates, ready to feed that line-out. Da Costa feeds, and it's turned over by Framesby. Excellent work from the PE forwards. Gerber looking for runners out wide. Taken up there by Liebenberg. Gerber looks for Schultz. Deep in the pocket. Bangs it downfield. Justin Cross is back there. Beg your pardon, that's Breckenridge. Schultz puts it up high into the mist. That's a real tester. Shifted out wide. Justin Cross puts it onto his left boot. Nice kick. Ditlow has a crack on the outside, backs himself. He finds his centre partner, Monray Potgieter. He's taken down. Gerber moves it out. A little knock on. Pretoria boys now have possession. Puts it to the boot. No one at home. Framesby get back there. Good work there by Ditlow. And Schultz puts it onto his right boot. And finds touch there. As the mist rolls in, a little bit of helter-skelter play there. Both teams looking to feel each other out and let the ball do the talking.
100%. A couple good kicks, looking for space. Well cleaned up there in the end by Hoerskool Framesby. And under the pressure, quite a good exit kick. A
little bit of discussion here. You know the hookers like to steal as much space as they can for their side. Da Costa trying to get his team as much space as he can, and as you can see there on the screen, our cameras are not misting up. It's foggy up here at Stott Field and Bothers Hill. Pretoria boys rumble it up through their forwards. Slow, hard work here in the wet conditions. Good defence by Framesby. They've thrown them over that ruck. Van Rooyen has a little go. He snipes. Taken down. Pretoria boys forwards picking it up and doing the hard graphs. Matsopoulos there takes it up. Van Rooyen shifts it out. There's the big man, Reynard Nell. What a carry, offload. Deep into their 22 they go. Van Rooyen shifts it out. Skip pass out. Pretoria boys still in possession, working hard. Van Rooyen finds Nel again. The 130 kg prop is met hard in defense. That's an excellent tackle. Nel Thompson puts it to boot. It's a foot chase. Ball runs dead. Perhaps not what they should have done there, Jono. Kept the ball in hand. They were looking dangerous.
Couldn't agree more, Gareth. I think they were getting over that advantage line, had their big runners being quite effective. So possibly putting it to boot, not the correct idea, but still enterprising play. And as this mist just gets thicker and thicker and rolls through Botha's Hill, I think putting it to boot may become a bit more of a weapon, especially that high ball. Hoisting it up into the mist becomes a bit of a challenge for your fullbacks or your back three to field that ball. Comes hurtling down to you out of a bit of a blind spot almost.
And as we saw there, off that 22 dropout, Schultz kicked it low down the left-hand side of the pitch. Almost looked as if the Pretoria boys couldn't quite see where that ball's going. Framesby get it back, shifted out wide. Taken up strongly by Ruan de Pria. Strong defense there from Pretoria boys. And the referee says holding on. De Pria just a little bit isolated. Maybe a little bit one-dimensional, just taking it straight up there without support. We'll take a look at this big hit here. That's the big man, Reynard Nel, with some big carries. A great offload too to his teammate, Thomas Colborn. And here he goes again, Reynard Nel. This time, not quite getting the go forward he was looking for. Great low tackle, good body position, drives him backwards. That's what we like to see. Da Costa goes short to the front of the line out. Bundled into touch. Referee says a little knock on there. He's just struggling to deal with the conditions here, it looks like, Jono. They're trying to just take the shortest route possible to get the ball in play.
Framesby definitely putting a lot of pressure on that Pretoria boys high line out, and I think they're feeling the cosh of that. Really just not able to get their own first phase ball. And in the red zones here, Framesby putting them under pressure, and PBHS just really not able to capitalize and come away with points.
Scrum down. And Framesby 22. Kerber with some work to do at the base of the ruck. Looks like Pretoria boys may have turned this over. Indeed they have. Shaping to attack. Fly off Liebenberg, baying, or not Liebenberg, I beg your pardon, Thompson baying for the ball. Just couldn't come out. Getting a little bit sloppy as the mist rolls in. As you can see on your screens, very, very wet. Almost whitewash look on the screens there. That's all the mist rolling in here at Botha's Hill.
A little bit of a let-off there, I think, for Framesby. They were under a bit of pressure, messed up a little bit at that scrum and got turned over. But fortunate to have the ball come back there, back on their side, and hopefully they'll be able to perform a little bit of a more clinical exit.
Gerber to feed this scrum. Strong shove by Pretoria boys on that defensive scrum there. Gerber finds his number 12, Potgieter. Strong carry. Schultz puts it onto that right boot. Nice touch finder. Gets him within a few meters of the 10-meter line. A little bit of respite. Good play there. Framesby doing well to weather the storm in that scrum. It looks like the likes of Nel and his front row mates are really putting the pressure on the boys from PE. Da Costa feeds. And another little knock on there, Jono. Indicative of the conditions.
I think a little bit of a skew feed there into the line out as well, which has given, yet again, Framesby a little bit of respite there, a little bit of relief, putting the ball back in their hands and giving them the opportunity to run at PBHS. PBHS just lacking a bit of that clinical nature here and there. really, I think their line-out has been letting them down from the onset of this game.
Just taking a little bit of time to set the scrum again. I'm sure the referee's just trying to get the boys to calm down.
A little bit of an injury break as well. Has been a very physical game so far. Both teams not giving an inch and not afraid to get stuck in and put in those big hits.
And if you're just joining us on the live stream, day 2 of the Standard Bank Kersney Easter Rugby Festival. First match of the morning. Pretoria boys taking on Framesby. The visitors from Pretoria down 6-0 to the boys from Port Elizabeth. Referee just struggling to get the forward packs to play ball here. Having a stern conversation. You tell me what's going on there, Jono. You're familiar with the front row play.
Ref seems to be chatting to the number 9, so I think it comes a bit to the feed, just making sure that ball's coming in quickly. The scrum has looked a little bit unsettled in the front row. Both front rows really working each other hard. So just a nice set scrum here, and hopefully the 9 can get the ball in, get it out, and we can get back to some nice festival rugby and play.
Herbert finds Potgieter, the big number 12, likes to take it up. Strong carry, well over the advantage line there. Herbert finds Schultz in the pocket. He looks for some open space, finds it down that right-hand touch. That's great play there from right wing Matthew Beckenridge. Takes it up strongly as well. It's done well to keep the ball in play. Pretoria boys looking to shift it wide here. Good hands, did well to keep it up there. Strong tackle coming in there from a Framesby player. Jada keeps it tight. Pretoria boys look down that right-hand side. Find Jada, Beckenridge in a bit of space. Referees called them back for a forward pass. Promising play there from Pretoria boys, and really, really good take there from Beckenridge after that little kick from Schultz down the left-hand side of the pitch.
Right. Beckenridge doing a lot of work there to keep that ball in, but very intelligent play just to dump that ball backwards as he found his toes nearly touching the touchline. Again, we've got another man down here in back play. The ref walking over to check out the situation. I think it's a forward, so it does dictate whether or not we can have the scrum.
Looks like it might be either William Moffat or Rickus Smith, one of the Framesby front rows. He's got up though, he looks like a tough man. Maybe just getting a quick breather there, Jono.
Possibly, yeah. Been working very hard. It is, I think, the vet Erasmus actually. But the ref has signaled for injury substitution, but he has not left the field yet, and it's still getting a little bit of rub down.
Looks like he's picked up a knock there on the shoulder. David Erasmus has been pretty impressive actually in these opening exchanges. The first 20 minutes he's made quite a few strong carries and put in some big tackles as well. I'll be hoping the blindside flank stays on the pitch. Doesn't look like any concussion concerns or anything. It looks like they're checking out that left shoulder of his.
The referee says let's get on with play as she brings the front rows in and the forwards for the scrum.
Looks like Erasmus is making his way back to the scrum there. To an applause from the crowd. They've enjoyed his contributions to this match so far. And so it is Framesby with the feed to the scrum on Pretoria boys 10-metre line. Good little platform here to work their way into the Pretoria boys half. Once again, she's just called them up.
100%. The scrum's just not very settled. It's a crouch, bind, nice and solid. And then that scrum call, really again, need a nice solid platform before the 9 can put that ball in. And unfortunately, the ref's just not getting that at the moment.
Bit more steady there from both packs. Gerber feeds. And that's penalty for scrumming in against, I think it's Ricker Smith, the tight head there. Just looking for that little bit of advantage over the big man, Reynard Null. Justin Cross puts his team into the Framesby half, and Da Costa gets ready to feed yet another line out in this game. Da Costa finds Jada, doesn't come down cleanly. Framesby have come away with it, and the referee says a knock on as well.
The PBHS line out, really a massive weak chink in their armour there, letting Framesby off on a number of occasions so far in this first half. Just really, it's been quite a letdown. They just haven't been able to retain their own ball when it comes to that line-out option. And yeah, they're really going to have to fix that in the second.
We saw them go short a short while ago. Maybe they should just be playing that 2 ball at every line-out.
100%.
Herbert to feed the scrum just outside their 22. Finds Schultz, puts it to boot once again. The Gary Owen, it's up high in the air. Anybody's ball, really. Justin Cross met hard. Fullback. The ball's come loose. Framesby have come away with it again. The Pretoria boys pile into that rack. Not quite sure. Nope, it is on Pretoria boys' side. Ball not coming out of that ruck there. Framesby coming in from the side as well. Referee not having any of it. She lets play continue. Shifts it out to Pratt. Strong carry from the Pretoria boys, number 12. To the big man Null. He looks for an offload. He's put his team under pressure there. Justin Cross cleans it up for his side. And just too over-eager from Framesby there. Coming in from the side at that ruck. They had Pretoria boys on the back foot there. They were scrambling to keep possession. And Cross will look for the touchline. Unfortunately, he's rushed that one a little bit. Schultz has plenty of time. Puts it to boot. It's a great touch finder from Schultz. Cross just couldn't take that one cleanly. He might have taken a quick throw in there, but unfortunately the ball slipped out of his hands. And Framesby have done really, really well to weather a good attack there from Pretoria boys and put themselves into their half again.
Definitely.
Da Costa goes quickly. Framesby come away with it. And no, a little knock on once again. Conditions really hampering play here. Both sets of players are doing their best to keep their hands on the ball, but as the rain comes down, it's getting really slippery out there.
One form of precipitation change for another, and we move from the fog and the mist to the rain now, and as it comes down here up at Bothers Hill, this really is going to have a bit of effect on the play and on the hands. And the capability of retaining ball. Ball retention is going to be key at this stage of the game.
Van Rooyen feeds a Pretoria boys scrum. They're going backwards there though. Can't clean it up. Van Rooyen's managed to get it out. Long looping pass. Pratt puts it to boot. Little cross kick, but no. The boys on the outside haven't heard the referee's whistle. They play on, but she's called them back for a scrum penalty. And someone's down in back play as well. Really, really good defensive scrum from Framesby there. They put the shove on Pretoria boys in their own half. Just not giving them any respite in any aspect of the game, Jono.
Not at all. Unfortunately there, the 9 just getting a little bit off sides, I think, in his over-eagerness to try and put pressure on the PBHS number 9, Ruan van Rooyen. But good play. I'd really like to see the Pretoria boys just try to speed their play up a little bit. They're leaving that ball at the back of the ruck for quite a while. And just a little bit of speeding up of that play and pushing Framesby behind that advantage line, I think might be that little key that could ignite this PBHS attack.
Da Costa shapes to feed the line out. Overthrow once again. He's missed his man. Jada and Framesby make their way into the Pretoria boys' half. It's come loose though. Thompson with a deep raking kick into the Framesby half. He'll be hoping that ball stops before the dead ball. Oh. And it looked as if big number 4 there, Luan Ras, just slipped as he tried to dot that ball down. Came off his knee. It's gone over the dead ball line, but that's a 22 kick.
They are on the far side, deemed him to have grounded that ball. The ref did look across to AR and see what his verdict was. And he said, no, it was definitely grounded, so the 22 stands.
There's a lot of talking going on out there. And that's a low kick. And she's called them back. They've gone offside, not behind the kicker. That's an elementary mistake from the Framesby players. And Pretoria boys are gifted an excellent opportunity inside the Framesby half. They're going to go for a scrum. That's an interesting decision. You know, the scrum's been a bit of a lottery. No one's really had the ascendancy there.
Definitely, and I think with the score at 6-0, and the majority of those points coming in the first 5 minutes of this game, we've had a fair amount of time where no one's really gotten over the whitewash or over the score, gone on the scoreboard. And possibly the 3 were there on offer. But PBHS really just backing their scrum. They do have a big scrum, so hopefully they can get some clean ball and mount a great attack. It is a good attacking option, yeah.
Olivier feeds the scrum. Back strong carry. Passes it inside. Pretoria boys setting up the phases here. The ball's come loose though. Referee says it's gone backwards from Framesby. Russ puts boot to ball. Finds the safety of touch. The referee's called them back for a knock-on. Pretoria boys just over eager there. Good rumble forward by the number 8 backer. Short little inside pass, and then the ball's just gone loose in contact there.
100%. Maybe the conditions coming into play as we see the little knock-on. It is quite wet out there, so it'll be interesting to see, with the clock having run down to time being over, what Framesby do here. I'm sure they'll just be looking to clear their lines and take it back into the shed.
The referee's called them back. You need to educate me there, Jono. What is that call?
Well, that's
now she sent them back 10 meters. There has been a lot of talk out there. You can see all the players are trying to let the referee know how she should be blowing the game. It's not what we want to see early on day 2 of the Kersney Easter Rugby Festival.
Not at all, and here we go. PBHS opting to take those 3 points on offer and just go into the halftime break with something on the board. But there's elementary mistakes there. I'm not too sure what went down at the scrum time. 3 points are taken.
Cross wastes no time slotting that penalty right in front of the post. And that puts Pretoria boys on the scoreboard. It is halftime here in the first game of day 2 of the Standard Bank Kersney Easter Rugby Festival. Hoerskool Framesby 6-3 up over Pretoria Boys High School.
I think as much as the scoreboard's only at a 6-3, we definitely have seen some great enterprising rugby, good hard-hitting rugby from both sides, and I think both these teams actually have proved themselves in a defensive structure. They really have been quite defensively sound. PBHS maybe being let down by their lineouts a little bit, but Framesby showing that they're not to be taken lightly and making some big hard hits on the big boys from PBHS.
And it's been very interesting, especially the battle at scrum time. Pretoria Boys High School really under the cosh at certain times, especially when they've had the put into those scrums, and they've got the bigger pack. If you look at the likes of Null, 130 kgs, in comparison to the Framesby front row, their biggest man in that front row is William Moffat at 105 kgs, and still those Framesby forwards are putting the shove on Pretoria boys, 9 times out of 10.
It has been quite a big battle up front there, as you see, with it not being too steady at times and the ref having to reset often. It'll be interesting to see what the coaches come out of this half-time break with the weather having taken a turn for possibly the worse. A lot of wet ball out there. It'll be interesting to see what structures and what game plan each side comes out with. The game still very much could go any direction, only 3 points in it. So it'll be interesting to see which sort of structures each team comes out with and how they work it.
We have seen 2 contrasting styles from either side.
Let's welcome back out onto the pitch on 2 sides. 20 minutes left in this one, ladies and gents.
Well, if you just joined us, it's halftime here on day 1 of the first game of, or day 2 rather, of the Kersney Easter Rugby Festival. We've got Pretoria Boys High versus Hoerskool Framesby. Framesby 6-3 up at the break. And as the rain comes down on Stott Field, we look to get back underway. Justin Cross to get us underway here in the second half of the first game this morning. As you can see on the live feed, it's wet, it's rainy, Stott Field. And Framesby struggle to control that kickoff. And Pretoria Boys with an early opportunity. And it looks like they've made some changes here, Jono. The skipper, De Costa, has been replaced by number 16, Matthew Caldwell, for Pretoria Boys High. And immediately he's found his jumper. Olivier shifts it out. Thompson finds Pratt. Strong carry. Olivier Thompson. Little knock on there from the big number 7, Kala Moschomorgolo.
Interesting to see there, taking the short option at the line out, did PBHS. They have been under the cosh quite a bit. Overthrows, Framesby have been contesting quite nicely, and they just haven't had their line out working for them. But the shorter line out, little front ball option definitely working out there, and managing to get their own ball cleanly and get over the advantage line. Also speeding that play up quite nicely, but unfortunately just a knock on. Maybe down to just the elements and the weather here.
Framesby put it in at the scrum and pick it up. Gerber puts a boot to ball. Deep kick onto Cross. He's backed himself and he's found a bit of space around the outside. Looks for his support, he finds it. Taken down just short of the halfway line. And the ball's gone loose. Null cleans up. Pratt shifts it out. Good hands there. Beckenridge tucks the ball under his arm. Olivier, the box kick. Great take there. Ball's gone down in the ruck there. Beckenridge finds a runner, stepping in at scrum half. Gerber with the box kick. Beckenridge Shifts it out to Cross. Cross puts it onto that trusty left boot, and he's found some space on that left-hand touchline. Bounces favourable. Just eases its way into touch on the 10-metre line of Framesby. And it just looks like both teams are feeling each other out in the second half, Jono.
Correct. I think you can clearly see that back in the shed there would have been maybe some chats of let's force the opposition to catch the ball, use our boots, and hopefully let them make a mistake in their own half and then capitalise from there.
Framesby with the throw-in. They take it, set up the maul. They work it. Gerber puts it onto his boot again. The box kick high in the air. Great take. Oh, PBHS under all sorts of pressure. They're going to take it quickly here. Quick tap. That's the fly off. Thompson finds Beckenridge, who finds Brown. He's taken down on the halfway. Olivier spies some space behind, and it's Thompson who's chasing hard, but great covering there. And another great hit. Pressure on the Framesby here. Pretoria boys working hard at their rack, trying to turn it over, and Gerber just gets it out of that rack. Box kick, finds touch, gives his team a little bit of a breather. Let's just take a look at this replay. Schultz does really well to clean up here, but what a tackle there from Pratt. Pins them down deep in their half. You have to say Framesby did well there to get around, get that ruck and clear their lines.
Short
line
again.
out. They clean it up. Pretoria boys have the ball. Mothomogolo takes it up. Keeping it tight, Pretoria boys. Framesby pile into that ruck. Olivier threads the little grabber through. Good covering there from Framesby. They're in a little bit of trouble here, but they work it out well. Number 21, Rowan van Rooyen. I beg your pardon. That's Sebastian Brandt. Deep kick down. Beckenridge. Long pass out to Brown. Brown carries it up. He's taken down just inside Framesby's half. They shift it wide. Plenty of space out here for Pretoria boys. They let the hands do the work. Another pass, another pass. Ball's gone short. They maintain possession just on Framesby's 22. Now with the big carry. He's hard to bring down. Olivier into the hands of Thompson. Takes it up. Ball squeezed out. Penalty. Offside. Framesby just over eager there. Under the cosh for the first time in this game, Jono.
100%, and lovely to see the PBHS boys just really giving it to Framesby, running hard, getting those big runners in. It's lovely to have a man like Nell who can get you that front foot ball, get you back over the advantage line as soon as you do have slow ball. And really for the first time in the match, we're starting to see PBHS having their structures start to come into play and start to actually work in a fruitful manner. Unfortunately, just a little bit of break and play here. One of the PBHS boys did go down quite heavily. He got caught up in the tackle and immediately went to his medic on the sideline and has been down subsequently. Quite a lot of medical attention around him.
Might just be that he's going to go in for a ding-dong test. We've seen a couple of those this weekend. Obviously, player safety is paramount. They don't take any chances with concussions. And all the precautions taken here, they're going to put him into a stretcher. No doubt he is all right, though. All precautionary, of course. Gives Justin Cross a chance to line up another penalty here and take Pretoria boys level with Framesby. And he's just sliced that one. It's gone well left of the upright. Framesby running it out of their half. The referee's called them back once again.
I think just stopping play due to the fact that there is a go-kart on the field. Waiting for that backboard to that precautionary neck and head injury. And just because of that, they're going to take the scrum probably on the Framesby 5 meter there.
Yeah, as we can see, she's just a bit concerned that there's still a player being stretchered off on the sideline there. Full medical attention, and quite simple. You can't play rugby while someone's being attended to in a serious condition like that.
Correct, and as you said, I think the player here from PBHS was able to walk away from the tackle initially, but he was under quite a bit of strain and pain. And I think this is all just precautionary, but rather be safe than sorry. And yes, as you said earlier, player safety is paramount here.
And as we talk, you can see on your screen the rain is really coming down now on Bothers Hill. Started off as a little bit of mist this morning, and it's almost torrential rain as we near the last 20 minutes of this first match on day 2 of the Standard Bank Kersney Easter Rugby Festival.
It is quite relentless, but it is par for the course up here on Bothers Hill. Often the boys are playing in this kind of a weather, rain, mist, and as we hear the applause for the player who is being taken off the field, both teams rather worried about him, but great medical staff here and great looking after the players, so he should be fine.
While we were touching on the weather here, we've seen some really good play, especially from Pretoria Boys High in the last 5 minutes. They've chosen to keep the ball in hand. They haven't been shy to throw the passes around and actually displaying a really good skill set in these conditions.
Definitely so. I think shows quite a bit of bravery to hold that ball and to use your passes. But for PBHS, they really are just playing in the correct areas of the field. I mean, if you want to start using your hands in wet weather like this, you really do want to do it in the opposition half, and that's what PBHS is doing at the moment. And as we can see, they're playing in the right areas of the field.
And as play gets underway here again after that short injury break, the referee's taken them back to the mark where the Framesby players took that ball down from that missed penalty from Justin Cross, and they'll have the put into the scrum. Just once again over eager. It's a short arm. Gerber thinks about taking it quickly, shaping to kick. Of course it is a short arm. They can run and try and charge this one down, but no one's the wiser, and that's a good touch finder by Gerber. Puts the ball out just short of the 10-meter line. Of course, Pretoria Boys will have the throw in to the line out. They made a change at hooker at halftime. Matthew Caldwell is on for Richard DeCosta, and he's gone for the short line out. It's Skew, and another scrum put into Framesby.
Line out really has been an Achilles heel for Pretoria Boys. Just not able to get it to work in the first half. Lots of overthrows, lots of balls just not going to hand, and now in the second half they've worked that short line out a couple times, that one not going straight into the line out, but additionally with that Framesby had woken up to that, and the Framesby lock had actually just scooped that ball away. So it's a bit of a worrying point, especially in this weather and especially with the kicking game. If you're not getting your line out to work, you're not going to be able to look after your own first phase ball.
Framesby feed at the scrum. Gerber drops back and puts a deep kick in. That's running towards the try line. Pretoria Boys. Justin Cross shapes to put it on that left boot once again. That's a lovely kick. Deep down. He hasn't found touch though. And Framesby run it back through Gerber, the scrum off. He's down. The forwards will have to play this one. And they keep it tight, rumble it up for the forwards. And we see another knock on in the wet weather. In fact, it's not a knock on. The referees let play go on. Gerber looking for it. Shifts it out. Good hands there. Strong carry from Pochita. Recycled. Brunt tucks the ball under his shoulder. Moves up towards the 22, but no. Holding on. He's been isolated. And maybe shifted wide a little bit too early. Just found himself without the necessary support to keep that ball.
And that was Carl Brown there, the center for PBHS with the steal. Again, touch not found, however. Bit of a let off there for Framesby.
They shift it out. Brandt runs it back. Gerber can't control. Pretoria boys have come away with it. Keep possession deep in the Framesby 22 now. Olivier sends it down the blind side. And he's had to go into that ruck. They rumble it up through their forwards. Just recycling there. Someone needs to get up and pass that ball. Olivier's up. Shifts it out. Thompson finds his forwards. They rumble it up through Caldwell. Olivier digging for the ball. Takes it down the blind side. Strong carry there from Van der Merwe. Olivier. That looked like Beckenridge coming into the line at pace. Good possession, good retention. Thompson. Thompson. Show and go, and he's through. Try time, Pretoria Boys High School. What a fantastic try. Patient build-up from the men from Pretoria. Thompson had a sniff. Dummy through Justin Cross, who came in on a great short line. He didn't need him. Sniffed the gap. Goes through just on the right-hand side of the uprights. And here we have it again. Thompson gets it. Cross comes on the short ball. Holds up enough players. And Thompson needs no invitation to the try line. Loves the wet conditions for a good dive in. And that's it. Conversion is good from Cross. Pretoria Boys High now lead 10 points to 6. 15 minutes left to play here on Stotfield.
Thompson with a little show and go in the little loop, and just noticing that mismatch with the lock, old Luan Russ from Framesby, and showing a clear pair of heels to Thompson to get over that line.
Olivier gets us underway. Null, the big man, direct, he takes it up. Pretoria boys pile into the ruck. Olivier. Thompson looking for space out wide. Brandt, he shifts it on. Dry. Brandt once again. Wade Finnis, I beg your pardon. They shift it out. Gerber finds his forwards. Come around. That's the vet Erasmus with another strong carry from Framesby. They're moving into Pretoria Boys High half here, but once again another little knock on. Good defense from Pretoria Boys. Framesby will be disappointed. Another opportunity to move into their half gone begging.
Definitely, I think that try mainly came from the fact that Framesby possibly playing a bit too much rugby in their own half, giving away possession, and one little mistake and PBHS are over the line. Framesby there really working hard to get back in PBHS's face and get that dominance over the game like they had in the first half. But unfortunately, just cropping up there at the ball retention in this sort of a weather is definitely going to be paramount.
Olivier feeds. Sends it back to Thompson. Thompson puts it up. Gerber returns the favour with interest. Thompson's underneath it. Shifts it out to Cross. Cross carries it up strongly. And the big man Bakker, the captain, rumbles it forward. Olivier. Thompson onto his left boot. He is right-footed, of course. Not the cleanest of kicks. Gives Framesby the opportunity to run it back just inside the Pretoria boys 10-meter line. Strong carry from Framesby's forwards there. Gerber takes it on the blind side. Great hands. Duprier down the right-hand touchline. He's brought down 5 meters short. Gerber's there to clean up. Another strong carry. Framesby's forwards putting their heads down, calling for it. That's Big Mornay Prince. And Big Mornay Prince uses his bulk, powers over the line, And just as soon as Pretoria boys had taken the lead, Framesby are back in the game through big number 18, Morne Prince. How do you like that one, Jono?
Oh, absolutely beautiful. I think that's exactly what Framesby would have wanted. The coaching staff will be elated with that. Really just the ability to strike back, keep your heads under the pressure. A couple calls maybe not going your way, the conditions not going your way, but still utilizing your hands, breaking down in that tram area. Great run there by
Christo Krobler, I think.
Christo Krobler. And then getting your big boys on the fringes, really just pushing over and just raw power coming over the line.
I beg your pardon, Jono. You were right. It was Dupree that had taken it up. And as you can see here, the last couple of phases, Gerber with nice clean ball. And then the big man, Morne Prince, taking on the Pretoria boys back line. You're not going to stop a big tight head that close to the line.
And the referee in the absolute perfect place to watch that try. Front row seats.
And Gerber adds the extras. And the lead changes hands once again. It's now Framesby, 13 points to 10, up over Pretoria boys. We've got just short of 10 minutes left to go here. Framesby take it up through Van der Merwe. He's met hard in defense. The referee's called it up for a penalty here. She's having a conversation with the touch judge, it looks like. He's picked something up from the sideline.
I'm not too sure about this call. I think the touch judge may have seen and deemed it to go past the 90, but I feel that it was quite a positive hit. Hit him quite square on, and yes, his legs did come up, but it wasn't a tip, it wasn't a movement through the 90, it wasn't anything done by the defender. As we look at the replay here, be interesting to see. Great take by the 19. Good positive hit. He does get the leg, unfortunately, and that may not go in his favor.
I tend to agree with you there. He's just gone over the 90. I don't think it was malicious. Very, very good hit, but momentum taking Van der Merwe over the 90. Framesby with the penalty. They've kicked for touch. And they'll set up a line out on the halfway line. Glad we didn't see any cards there or anything. The referees kept her head.
Dealt with that situation very nicely, very well. And in the spirit of the game,
Van Meyer feeds. Ball's gone loose again. Another line out. Sloppy stuff. Pretoria boys come away with it. Carried up through Caldwell. And the ball's gone loose again. Referees called us back for the knock-on from the line-out. The line-out really has been the chink in the armor of both teams. They're really struggling with conditions. Both hookers not being able to find their jumpers, and the jumpers just struggling to get their timing right and get some clean ball off the top.
And in these wet conditions, it is very difficult for both hookers and the takers of that ball to go up at the back and receive it at the back of that line-out, which both teams are looking to do. High risk, high reward, and in that outcome, unfortunately, there was no reward, just the risk.
Van Rooyen, the replacement scrum half's on the pitch, shifts it out to Cross. Cross puts it up high. Not as much distance as he was looking for, but Pretoria boys managed to keep the ball. And in fact, the Pretoria boys backline pinged for being in front of the kicker. That's the second time we've seen that today. And they've just gifted Framesby an attacking opportunity inside their half. As the clock winds down, there's 3 points in it. Framesby 3 points ahead of Pretoria boys. Penalty on the right-hand side of the pitch there. Might be a little bit far for Gerber to consider going for posts.
And there we go. Being March 10. Thompson was having a lot to say there to the ref, having a bit of a debate about the call, more than questioning it and just trying to get the verdict. And the ref deeming him to be talking too much, marching an extra 10.
It's very disappointing to see. I'm sure all the coaches are going to have stern words with their players. It's not something we want to see, especially from our schoolboys, giving a referee lip. We all know it. We've all played rugby. As much as you talk to the referee, you're not going to turn that decision. Framesby feed the line out. Taken down by Flock. They set them all.
but a skew feed, unfortunately, and Framesby there gifting the ball back over to Pretoria boys. Not out of the woods yet, however, still have a big scrum to do and a big exit.
Yeah, quite right, and Framesby have just wasted an opportunity there, unfortunately, and Pretoria boys get let off for some serious ill-discipline.
As we look on our camera here, you see the driving rain. Not the greatest playing conditions here up on Bothers Hill.
Pretoria boys to feed the scrum. Van Rooyen on the park. In the number 9 jumper, he is, of course, the reserve for this game. And another penalty, scrum penalty. It's a short arm to Framesby. They'll consider taking it quick. No doubt they'll pack down after winning that scrum. And they've gone for another scrum.
You get the essence or the sense that Framesby are starting to get their tails up. A couple calls not going the way of PBHS. And Framesby opting for that scrum, really trying to stamp their dominance on this game. Possible strike move. They do have a nice blindside to work with here.
Gerber to feed the scrum. Solid shove from Pretoria boys. It's gone up, but Gerber clears it out. Oh no, it's just dropped there by Potgieter as he was lining up for another big crash ball. He's enjoyed carrying it up in the midfield today when he's had the chance. He'll be bitterly disappointed that he's put that ball down.
Possibly just looking up and scoping his running line, trying to find that half gap to hit before catching the ball. And unfortunately, in weather conditions like this, you really need to do one thing at a time. Catch the ball first, then worry about where you're running.
As you can see on the screen, rain coming down here in Stotfield, reminiscent of a Super Rugby final a few years ago where there was so much mist you couldn't even watch the game. Framesby have come away with it. Gerber switches direction. Potgieter, Wade Finnis, oh, and he's knocked it on into tackle. Number 13 wasn't quite sure what to do with the ball there. Shot and go, and he's just lost it in the contact. We've seen a lot of that today.
Possibly looking to create a little bit of something out of nothing there. Looking for the half gap, the fin, trying to get the ball in one hand and possibly the offload around someone's back. And unfortunately the ball just slipping out of his hands, and maybe a little bit of relief for PBHS. However, their scrum has come under a lot of pressure over the last 2-3 scrum sets that we have had. So it'll be interesting to see how they try and exit under pressure on their own 5 meter.
And with that scrum, Pretoria boys have made a change. Their skipper, Reese Backer, comes off the pitch. Pretoria boys take it up. First phase ball. Framesby are calling, screaming, holding. To no avail though. Cross puts it onto that left boot. Finds Brunt. Brunt runs it back. He's found a bit of space. Great running from Brunt. He's stepped 1, he's stepped 2, and he's 5 short of the line. Framesby looking for quick ball here. Gerber calling for his forwards, but Pretoria boys have just piled into that ruck. And they've gone and taken it quickly as well. The clearing kick, chased well. Beckenridge, a little bit of off the ball stuff there. Tension's running high. 3 minutes left to play. 3 points in the game.
Just maybe a little bit of frustration there beginning to show. Framesby felt that they were on the front foot and a little bit of sleeping there, and all of a sudden they're back on their halfway line.
Pretoria boys bring it down off the line out. That looks high. And the referee's called it straight away. She's awake. In fact, she's reaching into her card. Yellow card. That is Devet Erasmus. He's been impressive for Framesby today, but that could just cost his team with 3 minutes left to play. His side down to 14 men.
And you can see as he leaves your screen there, he really is quite frustrated with himself. Feels quite hard done by. He has had a monumental game for Framesby, but unfortunately there, just receiving a card in the final 3 minutes of the game. The only blemish on what could be described as a near flawless performance by the man.
Pretoria boys play it in from the line out, carried strongly. Olivier, a little knock on. No, the referee says it's gone backwards. A little bit of luck there for the Pretoria boys. Carried up through Callenborn. Holding on. Their desperation to keep the ball in the tight. And Framesby have piled in. Excellent turnover. It's not often you see a winger getting in there and pinching a little turnover. That's Grayson Ditlow, 72 kg winger, doing well, getting underneath the noses of the forwards and forcing that penalty. %. Framesby with the feed to the line out, just short of halfway. Pretoria boys have turned it over though. Great work from the forwards. Not sure if that ball's coming out. The referee's blown for a penalty. The players just getting overexcited here as we wind down to the final whistle. Pretoria boys looking for anything to get back in the game. In fact, he's shown a yellow card. Taking no prisoners here, the referee. And I have to say it's a rush decision, but you don't want to see players getting rowdy off the ball, taking each other out. Just not in the spirit of the game here.
Exactly that, Gareth. I think both sides just starting to see that with only 3 points it could go either way this game, and really just feeling that desperation to try and for Framesby secure the win and for PBHS to get that win, and with 40 seconds on the clock, just that desperation starting to boil over. 1 or 2 off the ball things which the ref has snuffed out quite quickly as we see the line out start to take place. Framesby want to secure this.
Taken down, they set up the maul. They'll look to keep it tight here in the last 30 seconds of the match as a couple of their backline players join the maul. And what a rolling maul this is. They're up into the 22. Gerber marshalling his forwards, calling it. He's looking for it at the base. His backs want the ball. He's not giving it to them. He knows how much time's left on the clock. Framesby keep it tight. Pretoria boys piling into the ruck though. Framesby keep it. Gerber kicks it into touch. And the referee's blown it. That's it, it's full time. Hoerskool, Framesby hold on for a fantastic 13 points to 10 win in the first game of day 2 of the Standard Bank Kersney Easter Rugby Festival.